Jenna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. Where are you at right now?
San Diego.
Oh, so much warmer than where I'm at. I'm just outside Toronto in Canada, so it's a little chilly. I'm a little bundled up today. You look much more comfortable.
I mean, like, it's funny you complain about like the weather when it's like under 70 degrees here.
We had freezing rain this morning. It was fantastic.
Oh, I
Hey,
don't miss that.
really appreciate the time today. We'll get started. I wanted to start with just the basics. I mean, we're a week out from the fight, your debut with Bellator. How are you feeling, and how is fight camp going for this one?
Uh, but fight camp's been great. It's been nice to have like a full camp that I have like I know who I'm fighting like right off the like from the start, and I've had plenty of time to prepare, and it's been really good. I'm feeling great. My body's like ready to go. I'm like, I wish I was fighting tomorrow.
Good stuff. And, we hear a lot about jitters before the big fights and jitters before the promotional debut. Obviously, you've got that, experience on the big stage in BJJ, and you did fight for LFA, who are probably the biggest regional show out there. So, are you feeling any nerves, or are you expecting this to be, just another fight?
I kind of try and like keep it all in perspective, or it's just another fight, so I don't like, get in my head too much. For sure, I think the nerves might hit me a little bit more like once I get there. It's a little bit right now, I think I'm just feeling a little anxious, just like wanting to go do it.
Absolutely. And, like I said, you did have those first four fights for LFA, and they are a big name on the regional scene. And really, they've kind of gone beyond just the region now. They've gone down to South America and Brazil. I mean, you spent your first four fights there. How big a benefit is having that stability as a new fighter?
I think I'm really grateful that I got the chance to fight with LFA and like start my career there because they were amazing. I feel like the level of talent that they are pulling is fantastic. It gives you like I that's why I think I feel not as nervous because I know that I've faced like high level top talent like already in the short time. In with LFA because it just really they do a really great job preparing you to get to, the bigger promotions.
Absolutely. And now here you are in Bellator, and I'm wondering if there was anything in particular that drew you to them. I'm sure you had at least a couple of suitors who would have been interested in your services with your credentials.
I'm really happy that Bell to be with Bellator. I think that they are definitely like a promotion that I can tell that they value their athletes. They value, you know, um their people, and they I was just excited that they wanted to like sign me to have me like on a multiple fight deal and getting that chance. It's like I don't know. I like the way that they handle their business, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Well, glad to see you in the promotion. Glad to see you with a big fight coming up. Um, you know, before we get to that, two of your first four fights did go the distance, and I'm wondering how important that sort of cage time is early on in a career like yours.
I think it was really, really good for me. Of course, like, during the fight, I'm like, "Ugh," like I wish I would have just like finished it already. Like it's like making me nervous, and it's always nerve-wracking to like wait for like the judge's decision. So that like is kind of scary. But I afterwards, it's like you can take a step back and realize like that's so valuable to just being able to figure out how to manage your energy and manage the fight and like make changes inside of a fight to where making these little adjustments to just come out with the win and like figure out how to come out successful in a fight.
Well, looking ahead to the debut. Oh, someone is here to say hello. Sorry, puppy, you're a little too
I
big for
thought I
that.
saw a little tail wagging.
Oh, it's more than a little tail. It's a big tail, and he decided he wants to play. Um, anyways, going back to the debut, and not from the free distraction over here. You're looking ahead. You've got this fight coming up. You've had the opponent for a while now. When you see what Alina brings to the table, is there anything that stands out to you in terms of what you have to watch out for getting in the cage with her?
I just got to be prepared for, her to have really good like kickboxing, like striking, and just I think that I've been, training with the right people to help me to deal with that. And I think that as long as, I'm smart and I stay like to the game plan, it'll be no problem for me to like do what I want, like try and take it to the ground. And yeah, I think I'm ready for that.
I know you're only 4 fights into the career, but when you do prepare for opponents in MMA, are you somebody who watches tape, who kind of game plans along with your coaches, or you're shaking your head? No, you just kind of focus on yourself and let the coaches come up with the plan?
Yeah, I think I've always done that. It's something that I think I learned through grappling, that the more I focus on my opponents or trying to be like, oh, like I gotta watch out for this person because they do this. And it's like you start thinking about their game more than your own and what I need to execute. And for me, being the aggressor and being like offensive first has always like done me well. And so, I've gone into specifically like jujitsu matches, like where, my coaches or I've like looked at this person and I've found out like they do this or that. And then I get really nervous. And then the next thing you know, you're not really, I'm thinking so much about that you just walk right into their game plan. And it's like, well, so I just let my coaches kind of like take over, watch all the film, do all that, prepare me, put the game plan together for me, and then just I'm like, okay, tell me what I need to do, and then that's what I'm worried about.
Obviously, with your grappling credentials, people are going to try to potentially avoid going there with you and test your stand up. Is that
Mhm.
something that you kind of go into the fight expecting, like, I'm probably going to have to throw hands a little because they're not going to want to go down with me?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's two of my opponents were judo, like that, like judo girls, and that was their strength. And so I thought, oh yeah, for sure that they're gonna try and like throw me, try and get to the ground because they want to use their judo. But I learned really quickly that that was not the case because they did not want to. I didn't think that they wanted to go to the ground with me. So I can't expect that anyone is gonna want to. So for sure, like I need to have my hands sufficient enough to get me there.
Can't say I blame them. The flip side of it, a lot of times we hear about fighters crossing over, be it from wrestling or BJJ, and they start doing the striking and they just fall in love with it. Has that hit you at
Uh,
all? Are you kind of in love with the striking game yet?
I mean, I'm having fun with it. Like I don't hate it. I think at first I was like, oh, like I just want to like can we just be on the ground? It's so much more fun. And punching on the ground is a lot of fun too. But I'm getting more, the more comfortable I get with it, the more I'm liking it. But you do see a lot of grapplers that like fall too in love with it almost, where it's like you lose, they stray from their strengths. I've seen that with a lot of jiu-jitsu athletes making the change into MMA. And so I think that's where I'm trying to just stay focused and like get have fun with the striking stuff and get myself as good as I can, but not lose sight of, what I'm best at.
Absolutely. We're not going to name names, but I think a lot of fans recognize that the guys who have fallen in love with striking a little too much and kind of lost track of what got them to the big show. Um, when you look at how your MMA career has progressed and where you want it to go from here, have you mapped out kind of a path that you see? Because you did start a little bit later than most do in this day and age.
Mhm.
Obviously, you were in another sport. So, how do you see this kind of progressing?
I mean, I want to be the best. Like I want to get to that, get an opportunity to like to to get the belt, and that's, ultimately my goal. So I don't want to waste any time doing it. My path is just to fight as much as I can and as often as I can to get me there.
Absolutely. And, with that in mind, do you keep an eye on the rest of the division? Are there names that you have in mind? And might we hear a call out after your first victory?
I mean, I'm watching it, but I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure. I have people around me telling me like, who, oh, you should call out this person and that whatever. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just ready for whoever they put in front of me. Like, I don't know that there's any. I don't pay attention enough, I guess, to um to be that focused on anything right now. And I also am like, I don't want to sound as like so like arrogant to say like, I just started and I have to get through this like first. This is my first fight with Bellator. So it's like after I get through this, and maybe I'll start thinking about that a little bit more. But I want to like be an official, like have a fight in Bellator before I like worry too much about anything else. And then yeah, like whoever they put in front of me, like I'll be ready for.
And to turn that on its head a little, ultimately, is it better to be the one calling out the opponent, or would it be better to go in, put on a big performance, and they start calling you out?
I mean, I feel like that's a good way to go. Like, I just want to, yeah, I would love for people to want to fight me. That would be great because I think as long as my name keep getting brought up, that's gonna like only elevate my career and like my rise like to the top.
Absolutely. Well, you're certainly coming in with a lot of attention, making that debut very, very shortly now. We're, barely over a week out from the fight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, with that in mind, I'll ask you one last question. I always appreciate the time. But if you have a prediction, what is your call for this fight? How do you see it going down, and how do you get it done?
I plan on, I mean, I think it's going to be a submission for sure. Like, uh, probably I don't know which round. First or second round submission. That's what I'll say.
I like it. Going with the bread and butter, going with the strong skill set. Jena, thanks very much for the time again. Looking forward to the fight. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Look forward to talking to you again.